Myself, Dr. R. Srinivasan, Head of the Department of Management Studies, Amet Business School. Today's topic is 5 different forces in business to business marketing. Regarding this subject, most of the students you are more familiar with the consumer marketing. It means it is called as a business to consumer, B2C marketing, but now we are going to discuss about B2B marketing, business to business marketing. In this business to business marketing, it is also treated as industrial marketing or business marketing or organizational marketing. The buyers is called as industrial organizations, one who purchase a huge commodity from their supplier, either for reproduction, or they go for further processing, or they go for their own purpose. It is an organization or institutional purpose. First of all, we must know about the difference between industrial marketing and consumer marketing. The first and foremost point is market characteristics. First, in the name of industrial marketing, it is geographically concentrated and also is relatively few buyers in the concerned geographical area. But in consumer marketing, the consumers are geographically they were dispersed, and also there is a huge market, and also we call it called as mass marketing. The second one, it is called as the product characteristics. The industrial marketing, the products are it is called as technically complexity, and also it is called as customized. It is not a standard commodity. Based on each and every buying organization, based on their own requirements, they were all offering from the suppliers. As a suppliers, based on the request from the buyer, they were all manufacturing and also in the name of supplying the product. But in the name of majority of the products in consumer marketing, it is called as standardized. Whatever the products, whatever the designs, whatever the models are available in the market, more or less almost all the manufacturing, the concerned industry, they go for the standardized products. The third one, it is called as services characteristics. What are the services are expected or required by the buying organizations? In industrial marketing, the services are timely delivered and also availability is very important. It is a timely delivered in time, within an hour, within 30 minutes, within 2 hours, within 3 hours. They fix the time and also they are offering the service from the suppliers. But in consumer marketing, it is called as a timely delivery, availability somewhat it is important, but the organization they were not giving much more importance. The fourth point is, the fifth is called as a channel characteristics. What is called as a channel? It is called as a from the manufacturer to the end users, who are called as a middlemen are in between the producers and also the consumers, we call it is called as a channel. Here in this industrial marketing, most probably the direct channels are there, it is called as mostly it is a direct channels, few it is called as intermediaries are involved. But in consumer marketing, it is called almost it is called indirect channels, because consumers are called as scattered all over the places. It is not as an organization, so producers or marketers they were not send the commodity directly to the end user. So they prefer most probably for the indirect channels. Who are all the people are involved in the indirect channels? It is called distributors, dealers, wholesalers, retailers, jobbers. These are the people are involved to send the commodity in time to the consumer. Sixth one, it is called the promotional characteristics. How as a marketers for industrial marketing to promote their commodity, most probably it is called a personal selling is more suitable, because as a buying organization there is a enormous of people are involved for decision making, and also they want each and everyone, they want the interaction, and also they want all the details about the product details, about in the name of finance, about in the name of repayment, about in the name of time of delivery, all these things very important. But in consumer marketing, it's almost it is called as advertising is emphasizing a very great role. And seventh one, it is called as the pricing character. It's very important for both the marketing, but in industrial marketing or business to business marketing, it is called as bidding or negotiate pricing is very important, and also in the name of list price, a very few it is called as standard. But most probably in the name of consumer marketing, almost it is called as MRP pricing is more suitable. Now, the 5 different forces in industrial marketing or business to business marketing. What are the 5 different forces? First one is called a new entrance in the market. Second one is called a bargaining power of a buyers. Third one is called a threat of substitute products. Fourth one is called a bargaining power of suppliers, and last one is called a rivalry among current competitors. As we discussed all the 5 different forces, the bargaining power of a customer, it is very important. The second one, threat from the new entrants, who are the people who are newly entered into the concerned industry. Third one is called threats from the substitute products, competitive rivalry among within this industry, and last one is called bargaining power of suppliers. Now we are going to discuss one by one. The first one is called threat of entry. What are the threats for whenever the new companies are entered into this concerned industry? First one is called new entrance to an industry being a new capacity, because they were all launching this newly means they have enormous of resources, enormous of facilities, they were entered into this industry. The second one as a desire to gain the market share. What is the intention? As an organization enter into the industry means to try to acquire more market share than all the other existing competitors in the concerned industry. The third one is called substantial resources. Compare all the other existing competitors. As a new company, they were all investing the huge finance, and also they recruit the more knowledgeable and also technically it is called qualified employees, and also they hire in the name of technical products, highly technical quality commodities, or in the name of raw materials, official commodities, or in the name of technologies, everything. And the last one is called the price can be bid down, because they try to acquire more market share, they are always charging the very low price in the industry. What are the major barriers to entry in this industry? Because you can't say in the name of all the times they were threatening all the others. Some of the barriers are very important in the business to business marketing. First of all, in the name of economic of scale, it is very important for this. Overall, the existing organization, they were all create awareness and also reported in the geographical area, and also they were attracted more customers. As the customers keep on purchasing this commodity, keep on growing more number of years means automatically the cost will constant based on output of production. But it is very difficult for the new entrants. They are not able to capture more market share. So economically, it is also very difficult for the companies charging the very low price. The second one, it is called product differentiation. So it's not very easy to attract in the existing customers from the competitors. Whenever your product is a new products, or it's called quality wise or differentiation, product design, everything it is called entirely new, then only they were able to attract. Especially for business to business marketing, it is very difficult for you to differentiate the commodity. So it's a major barrier for the new entrants. Third one, it is called capital requirement. So whatever the money they were all investors, almost the business people have borrowed money only, they were all investors in the businesses. Any borrowing means that they were liable to repay, liable to pay the interest, everything to that. They try to satisfy their own stakeholders. Initially, it is called they were not able to repay, they were not able to gain any profits. So that it is called most of the people, most of the investors, they were not willing to invest the money for any new entrance in the concerned industry. The fourth one is called switching cost. If this organization convinces the existing customers and also attract the customers from the other competitors organization, the switching cost is very higher. What is called as a switching cost? As an organization, it is called as to give the training to the existing employees, because whenever they move from one technology to the another technology, the second one it is called as whether they were more familiar for this, because it will affect the production. The third one, it's called what are the ancillary equipments are available, the existing ancillary components is not more suitable, they are purchasing new components and etc., 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 etc. So, that is a major problem for this in the organization. As a buying organization, they were not willing to move from existing customers to new customers. The last one is called access to distribution channels. Especially for industrial marketing, it is called they were segmented the market. Few segments are prefer for direct marketing. Majority of the segments is called they go for this channel members only. As a channel members, it is called already it is occupied by the existing competitors. So that it is called as a new organization, they were not able to convince the existing customers, existing channel members, and also they were able to distribute their own commodity means it is very difficult. As a next one is called cost disadvantage of independence of scale is a major drawback for this new entrance. What are they? It is called first one is called proprietary product technology. The proprietary product technology is related to the R&D. As a company is one who create the technology, they were all retaining, it is called highly confidential, they were not, it is not easily copied by other competitors means it is very difficult for the new entrants to capture this entire market. The second one is called favorable access to raw materials in industrial marketing or business marketing. The raw material is very important. All the existing organization, they captured this raw materials as a new organizations who enter into the very fresh means they were not able to get more quality raw materials, whatever the quality is offered by the customers or the concerned organizations. The third one is called favorable locations, where they set this manufacturing center, where they go for the distribution, where they go for the other areas. Everything is called controlled by the existing competitors means as a new organization, it is very difficult for you to capture this new location. And fourth one is called government subsidies. Most probably as a pioneer in the concerned industry, they were all enjoying all the facilities from the government, because initially as the governments are in the motivating the industrial organizations, and then they were giving more and more subsidies as a industry means it is a benefit for the society. So, as the existing organization, they were enjoying all the benefits from the subsidy in the name of a subsidy from the government. After that, in the name of certain portion is covered means the governments are almost they stopped everything, so that the new organization, they were not able to get this subsidy from the government. For example, in the name of LPG cylinder, it is called as a liquid petroleum gas. Most of the consumers as industrial organizations, they keep on using this one means existing organizations from the government more than 30 years or 40 years, they were all providing this facility. Still date, they were all enjoying more and more subsidy from the government. As a new entrance like in the name of Reliance and all the other private industrial organizations, they were also willing to supply, but the governments are stopped all the subsidies. It is a major drawback for the new entrance. The next one is called learning of experience curve. As an existing employees, they were more familiar from the concerned technology, they were all highly experienced, skilled employees. Because of working more experienced people, more number of years, they keep on doing their businesses. It is very difficult for the new organizations who enter into the recently means they were not able to hire highly qualified employees. It is a major constraint for the organization. The next one is called what is the policy of the government. As a government, some of these areas there is enormous of restrictions. It is called quota systems, license systems. As a new entrance, it is very difficult for them getting permission from the government, and also what is the portion of this in the quantity they were all able to produce. This is a highly restricted area. So, industry of a rivalry among existing competitors, it is a second major force in this industrial marketing or business to business marketing. It is the existing competitors who are all called as existing competitors, they were threatening in the name of other organizations. One is called numerous or equally balanced competitors. How many industrial organizations, how many numbers they were in this concerned industry, it is a very important one. If there is any like in the name of oligopoly industry or in the name of monopoly industry, there is no problem for this. Whenever you go for this perfect competition, it is an umpteen number of competitors. The demand is always very less than in the name of suppliers. The second one, the slow industry growth. What is the growth of this industry? Certain industries, the growth rate is keep on declining. For example, in the name of fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, and also the paper industry, day by day it is called the governments are in the name of they were creating awareness against these products. It is called polluting this environment. So that as an organization, the growth rate will keep on declining. Whenever the new competitors, existing competitors, they go for any modification, it is a very difficult for survival, or there is no better growth in the concerned industry because of enormous of government constraints. The third one is called high fixed and storage cost. The high fixed cost, as an industry organization, whenever they were investing huge money for the machinery and technologies, everything, it's not easier to move from this concerned industry, because they were not able to harvest or they were not able to get back this entire whatever the money they were invested in this concerned industry, and a lack of differentiation, the product difference. Some of these industries they were not able to differentiate, compare the other competitors commodity. It is a major drawback. Whenever if you are able to differentiate your product, then only you are able to attract more number of existing customers from the competitors or new customers, but it is very difficult for certain industries. It is a major drawback for this. Then capacity augment, the large increments. Whenever they were investing the money, what is a better return means that the return is very less. It is a keep on deteriorating. This industrial organization hesitate to invest further money for this business. The next one is called high strategic stakes. As a strategic stakes is called, as an industry, it is called whenever they go for diversification or they go for expansion or they want more and more, it is called investment from the stakeholders and also the shareholders. No one is not willing to invest, no one is not satisfied from the existing performance of the industry. It is a major drawback. High exit barriers. Certain industries very difficult for move from the concerned industry. It is called exit barriers are very high. Because as a stakeholders, as an employees, investors, customers, suppliers, distributors or dealers, who are the people are involved directly, indirectly, there is a pressure for this organization. They were not willing to lose their image, so that it is called a major exit barriers. We are going to discuss all these things one by one. The first one is called specialized assets. Whatever the assets, whatever the building, whatever the technology, whatever the machineries, whatever the employees are trained by the organizations, who are all the people are involved, who are the machineries are involved, more than 25 years, more than 30 years, they keep on doing the business successfully. Because of this, in the existing competitors, something else, they were all in the successfully, they were not able to survive, means it is very difficult for the companies to exit from this industry, because it is called as an employee, as a machineries is not suitable for any other profession, otherwise it is sold as a scrap value. The second one is called fixed cost of exit. The same organizations, whatever the commodity they were all manufacturing in the name of a machineries or in the name of all the other infrastructure facilities is not suitable for any other purposes. Whatever the money as an organizations are invested, it is called fixed capital. The third one is called strategic interrelationship. They were maintaining the good relationship with this called as a relationship with their own, it is called as suppliers. Their own it is called as technology supplier. Their own it is called as customers or in the name of dealers. The fourth one is called as emotional barriers. As an organization, they were creating very good impression, very good image in the minds of in the name of society or in the name of stakeholders. There are certain barriers. It is called very difficult for the company exit from this industry. It affects the reputation of the concerned industrial organization. The next one is called as government and social restrictions. What is called as government and social restrictions? As a governments, they were very care about their own employees. If the organization exit from the industry, the employees are who are the people who are working in this industry so far, they were called as unemployed in future. So, as the governments take care of everything, whenever the companies are sent out, whenever the companies go exit from this industry, they were all liable to pay the compensation to their own employees. The second one is called they were answerable to the investors. They were answerable to the lenders. For example, in the name of financial institutions as a bankers, they were all lend the money to the concerned industrial organizations. Whenever the organization exit from the industry, they were all liable to repay the loan, otherwise the government is not permitted from the organization exit from the concerned industry. The next major force in this business to business marketing, it is called substitute products. Identifying the substitute products is a matter of searching for other products that can perform the same function as a product of the industry. The substitutes are threatening this organization, threatening this industry, it is called enormous. Early days it is called they were not able to, the customers or the buyers or the concerned industrial organization, they were not able to identify the better substitute. So, they keep on surviving, keep on manufacturing. After later on, it is called some of the structural products are coming into the industry, and also they were also giving the same performance based on this cost wise it is cheaper, or in the lightweight commodities, or it is called performance is also extraordinary. As a buying organizations, they were willing to move from this industrial commodity to the substitute products. It is a major threat for this concerned organization. They were not able to survive in the future. Bargaining power of buyers. As a buying organization, one who keep on purchasing this raw material as finished commodities, or in the finished commodity from their own suppliers, they were called as a major threat. They were keep on in the name of purchasing your company product. How long they were keep on purchasing? After certain periods, they were thinking, why not we go for backward integration? The forward integration and also backward integration major threat for the supplying organization and also buying organization. Now, we are going to discuss about the threat from the buyers or in the bargaining power of the buyers. The first one is called as a buying organization. Whenever they purchase a commodity, it's a large volume related to the sales organizations. As a buying organization point of this huge commodity they were all purchasing means they were all thinking that why not we go for the backward integration. The second one it is called the switching cost is a major problem. As a buying organization they were thinking that it is called whenever switch over from one supplier to another supplier means it is called a few switching cost expenses means anytime they were all move from one supplying organization to another supplying organizations. The third one it is called earning low profits. If an organization, if they move from one supplier to another organization, what is the profit we are earned so far from the existing suppliers means it is a low profit means anytime they will all move from the existing supplier to the new supplying organization. The fourth one it is called the backward integration. The buying organization they have enormous of resources, they have in the all this in the facilities they have means they are easy to move from the backward integration. For example, you take in the worldwide as a Tata group of concern is called more familiar. Earlier it is called Indian organization, now it is called world renowned organizations. They were taken over. Earlier the technology is a major problem for those organizations whenever they go for automobile industry. Now it is called as a companies are taken over in the world renowned organizations, so that now it is called a major monopoly or major organizations in the world. It is called a backward integration. The next one is called the industry's product is unimportant to the quality the buyer's product or service. It is a mere components. It is not, it is called a more familiar. It is one of the component as a company is one who manufacturing, one who is assembling their commodity means whenever they go for outsourcing, why not they think they were all keep on in the name of manufacturing their own organization. It is a major threat from the buying organizations. As a buying organization, they were dictating the suppliers, otherwise they have started their own manufacturing unit. The next one is called as a bargaining power of the suppliers. As a supplying organization, one who keep on supplying the raw materials, one who keep on supplying the semi-finished commodity, they were identified who are all our competitors, who are all our buyers, what product as a buyers are manufacturing, how long they depend on our own organizations. If they depend more and more from the one single supplier organization, as a suppliers they were all in the name of dictating, they were acting as a monopoly. They were all in the name of keep on increasing the prices, or they were dictating, they were not follow the rules and regulations, they were not follow in time, they were not follow in the name of whatever the procedures. It is dominated by the organization in the concerned industry means as a buying organization no other options, they try to follow whatever the command, whatever the restrictions from the supplying organizations. And also the suppliers is called more fragmented organizations and able to considerable influence in the price, quality and also in the name of terms. Regarding the prices, if more number of suppliers as a buying organizations, they go for negotiation. As a buying organization, they were not able to identify more number of suppliers means as suppliers or the sellers are dictating the market regarding in the pricing of the commodity. And second one it is called quality. As a buyers, they were not able to identify the new suppliers. Whatever the commodity supplied by the existing suppliers, they keep on purchasing, no other option is there. The third one is called terms and conditions regarding in the name of repayment, regarding in the name of quality, regarding in the name of services. As a buyers, they will all keep on losing their own in the name of dictatorship, and also as a sellers or suppliers or sellers, they take on over everything. Next it is called as a substitute products, as a suppliers, as a buyers, both they are aware of that there is no substitute, means as a suppliers they behave like a monopoly, because there is no substitute, no other option for the buying organizations. So, now in this concluding session, I am once again go for this little bit information regarding the threats from the suppliers, threat from the competitors, threat from the buyer, threat from the new entrants, and also in the name of threat from the substitutes. All the 5 different forces in industrial marketing is very important. As a manufacturer or the suppliers, they must know about who are the threats, what are the threats are available, the threats coming from any other sources. Based on this only they were all running the business successfully. So, as an organization's industrial marketing, it is entirely peculiar compared to this consumer marketing, because as a industrial buyers are highly knowledgeable, technically qualified. The products, most of the commodities, whatever the product they were purchasing, they do not prefer for the standard commodity, almost they go for the custom made products. So, as an industrial organization, they must know about all the 5 different. It is a very great organization, they keep on growing more whenever they were all aware of all this informations. Thank you, sir.